Hello, Kentucky! A Lexington native to watch? Just hope Pope is paying attention. Here's the scoop. Reece Potter is a guy who deserves attention and excitement from the fans and the roster. While he's not a name that immediately sparks the idea of an instant top 25 team, his unique traits and development potential make him an intriguing addition to Mark Pope's roster. A Lexington native, Potter brings with him not only raw talent, but also an emotional connection to the Bluegrass State, something that could make a significant difference in his adaptation to the program. One of the most interesting aspects of Reece Potter is his combination of size and offensive ability. He has the ideal wingspan to play center in modern college basketball. However, what really stands out is his ability to stretch opposing defenses with three-point shots. Last season, he converted 36.7% of his attempts from distance, a respectable mark for a player of his size. That ability to space the floor is increasingly valued in today's basketball, and Potter's presence could open up opportunities for Kentucky's playmakers to exploit cuts and penetrations more effectively. He's not just a traditional biggie man. He's a versatile player who adapts to the demands of the modern game. Additionally, Potter's experience as a reserve player in Miami, OH, may have shaped his competitive mindset in a unique way. While he hasn't started many games thus far, he's been solid when called upon to play. His averages of 6.5 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 1.2 assists per game last season show that he can capitalize on the opportunities he gets, even in limited minutes. More than that, his blocking ability, 0.7 per game, suggests he could be a useful defensive asset, especially in paint-protecting situations. For a Kentucky roster that is currently lacking players with that height and reach, Potter would be a practical and necessary addition. Another crucial point is the fact that players around 34 inches tall are simply not easy to find, and it's even harder to teach someone to reach that height. The absence of a player of that stature on the Wildcats' current roster makes Potter an almost indispensable option to fill that void. His arrival could be seen as a gamble on the future, especially considering he still has 2 years of eligibility remaining. Under the guidance of Mark Pope and his coaching staff, there is room for Potter to refine his skills and take on a more prominent role within the Kentucky system. His background as a homegrown player, having played for Lexington Catholic, however, also reinforces the idea that he already understands the culture and expectations of the program, which is a very good thing. While Reece Potter may not be the type of player that would immediately put Kentucky among the best in the country, he represents a smart investment in an athlete with rare physical traits and a game profile that aligns with the modern style of college basketball. He's the kind of player who can grow with the team and provide practical solutions to specific challenges, like the loss of Travis Perry. Plus, his connection to the state of Kentucky adds an emotional layer to his potential arrival, something that could resonate with fans and the player himself. He's a name that should be on Mark Pope's radar, not only because of what he's already shown on the court, but because of what he could become as an elite player as Kentucky. His height, shooting ability, and local ties make him a valuable asset to the team's future. I want to see that. Mark Stoops has just taken a strategic step to strengthen his roster with the arrival of Elijah Brown, a tight end with explosive potential who has committed to the Cats, bringing a wave of expectation for the upcoming season. The news, confirmed by Pete Nakos of On3, is one of those moments that rekindles the flame of hope in a fan base that has grown accustomed to seeing Stoops turn promises into concrete results. The spring transfer window, unlike the frenzy of the winter, has been a period of calculated moves for the Kentucky coaching staff. With scholarships still available, Stoops and his assistants have patiently navigated the transfer market, especially in the search for reinforcements at tight end, a key piece in the offensive scheme that new coordinator Bush Hamdan promises to implement. After weeks of evaluations and negotiations, the choice fell on Brown, a player who, despite a discrete year in statistical terms, carries with him a respectable resume and potential that can change the game. Hailing from Dayton, Ohio, and a graduate of Wayne High School, Elijah Brown is no ordinary name. At 6 feet 10 inches tall and 249 pounds, he combines size, strength, and agility, traits that have made him a top 250 prospect in the 2022 class when he was a 4-star recruit coveted by elite programs. His journey began at Alabama, one of the giants of college football before stints at FAU and, most recently, UCF, where he opted to enter the transfer window in December. His production last season, with just 1 reception for 22 yards, may seem modest at first glance, but that is exactly what makes his arrival at Kentucky so exciting. Brown is a diamond in the rough, ready to be polished by the Wildcats coaching staff and Hamdan's dynamic offensive scheme, which values versatile tight ends capable of playing both in the passing game and blocking. The tight end position, by the way, is far from being a detail in Kentucky's planning for 2025. With names like Willie Rodriguez and Josh Caddis already on the roster, the addition of Brown not only increases depth, but also signals a possible change in tactical approach. Rumors around Kroger Field suggest that the Wildcats may adopt formations with multiple tight ends, the so-called 12 personnel, exploiting the versatility of these players to create mismatches against opposing defenses. Imagine the impact of a player with Brown's physique lined up next to Rodriguez or Catus, forcing linebackers to choose between covering passes or containing runs. It's the kind of dilemma that can open up spaces for the ground game and give the quarterback more time to find targets deep down the field. Brown represents more than a reinforcement. He's a bet on a player who, with the right environment, can become a central piece of the offense. The coach's patience in waiting for the perfect fit in the transfer window shows confidence in a project that, year after year, is a commitment to always being among the best. Comment.